Merfolk decks have been taking it up the butt ever since Fatal Push took over Modern, so the question is, can the new Merfolk cards from Rivals of Ixalan serve as the butt plug that Merfolk decks desperately need? That's what we're gonna find out. And here's the deck, and as you can tell, it's quite a bit different than regular Merfolk decks. First off, we have the addition of 4 Merfolk Mistbinders, just like with Lord of Atlantis and Master of the Pearl Trident. It gives other Merfolk you control +1/+1, except no Island Walk, which means the deck now has 12 Lords, or 15 Lords if you count the Merrow Reejerey. And to capitalize on the Mistbinders, the deck has a lot of 1-drop creatures, so 4 Kumena Speakers, 4 Cursecatchers, and also 3 Jade Bearers. At first, Jade Bearer seems to suck ass, but as long as there's another Merfolk out, it's effectively a 2/2 for 1, the same way that Kumena Speaker is a 2/2 for 1. And if you time it right with Aether Vial, it's pretty good. And just like other Merfolk decks, we have 4 Silvergill Adepts and 3 Harbinger of the Tides. But a big difference here is that there are no Spreading Seas, at least not in the main deck because they're all in the sideboard. And even though most Merfolk players would say that the Spreading Seas is an essential part of Merfolk decks, there's a couple reasons why I decided not to use it main deck. The first is that the metagame right now has a lot of blue decks, so a lot of times you don't really need Spreading Seas to have Island Walk against your opponent. And decks like Tron and Burn, where Spreading Seas works really well against, they're not as prevalent in the meta as they were a couple months ago. So the way I see it, the card is optional. And with the absence of Spreading Seas, we've been able to make the deck more aggressive to fit extra 1-drop creatures, but also we have this card here, Blossoming Defense. And in Modern, outside of Infect decks, we really don't see Blossoming Defense very much, but it does work really well in this version of Merfolk. The first one's probably pretty obvious. A lot of Fatal Pushes. If you time Blossoming Defense right, you give your creatures hexproof, and then they don't die to Fatal Push. So pretty good, and your opponent definitely won't expect it. But there's another reason why we have this card here, and that's because sometimes our creatures won't have Island Walk, especially without Spreading Seas main deck. And in most situations, Merfolk would just hold back and not attack because they don't want their Lords to be blocked. But with Blossoming Defense in hand, you can pump the creatures that get blocked, so that way you can keep swinging in as if they had Island Walk anyway. So very versatile card. It works really well in the deck, and that's why there's 4 of them. And now onto the downside of the deck. Because the deck is blue-green as opposed to mono-blue, and because there are very few cards that have colorless mana in their cost, I ended up cutting all 4 Mutavaults from the deck, which does hurt the deck quite a bit, but hopefully the deck can make up for that loss by being super aggressive. With the Jade Bearers and Kumena Speakers and the Cursecatchers, that should make up for the lost damage from Mutavault. But moving on to sideboard, just in case our opponent doesn't have islands in the deck or the Tron, we have the 4 Spreading Seas. And like most other Merfolk decks, we have 3 Relic of Progenitus in the sideboard, and the added advantage of running green in the deck is that we can have anti-artifact stuff, so we have 3 natural states. But my favorite part of the sideboard is that we have these 2 cards here, Shaper's Sanctuary and Heroic Intervention. So starting with Heroic Intervention, it works really well against board wipe. So even though the deck has 4 Cursecatchers main deck, the most prevalent board wipe right now is Supreme Verdict, which can't be countered. So Merfolk, because it's a bit slow, is at risk for board wipe, but with Heroic Intervention, if you time it right, all your creatures gain indestructible, and it has an added bonus, they also gain hexproof. So I'm a big fan of the card in the sideboard. I think it works pretty well. But probably the most valuable card in the sideboard is the new enchantment from Ixalan that says whenever your creature you control becomes a target of a spell or ability your opponent controls, you may draw a card. And the reason why this is so important to have in the sideboard is that right now there's quite a few modern decks out there that are just packed full of creature removal, especially after game 1. And even with 4 Blossoming Defenses in the main deck, against those creature removal heavy decks, 4 Blossoming Defenses won't be enough. So that's why you have 3 Shaper Sanctuary in the sideboard. And even though Fatal Push can still kill your creatures, the card drawing definitely makes up for it, especially against control decks that end up targeting your creatures a lot throughout the game. So really glad to have this card here. And that's the deck. But enough talk, let's get to the gameplay. But first, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, doing so helps out the channel and it lets me know what people want to see. And also let me know in the comments what you thought of the video. But without further ado, here's the gameplay and I hope you enjoy it. Opening hand, 2 lands and an Aether Vial, so we'll keep. And it looks like we're up against Dredge. Alrighty, start things off with Aether Vial and back to our opponent. Okay, opponent sacks the Neonate to get rid of this, sure. Fermenting Voice, and that's a lot of stuff in the graveyard. Back in our turn, we'll go with this Silvergill, draw a Jade Bearer. Okay, then our opponent's turn will use the Jade Bearer. Our Amalgam's come back now, but next turn we can use Harbinger of the Tides on them, so not too bad for us. Oh, and look, he's trying to 1 damage this. Oh, yes, daddy, yes. The advantage of using random ass cards, they never see it coming. Yeah, Amalgam's come back, but the question is, should we bounce them or just go and try and blow them out? Yeah, I think we can afford to bounce them. Okay, we will go with the Mistbinder and then Jade Bearer on the Jade Bearer, and then might as well just bounce these things. Actually, let's wait to bounce it. That way we'll have to decide if he wants to block or not. Okay, he blocks, and now we'll bounce one of them. Pretty good. Well, no, I guess that's concede. All right, so not too bad for game 1. On to the next one. Going into game 2, I'm gonna get rid of 2 Reejereys and 3 Blossoming Defense, put in 3 Relic of Progenitus for Graveyard Hate and 2 Spreading Seas to disrupt their lands and give our creatures Island Walk. And with that, let's go to game 2. Opening hand's not terrible, but I don't think this alone can outspeed them, so I'm gonna mull. We still have the same problem. Okay, keep this on top. And we'll see how long we can survive this, play this, and pass back. Attacks a Neonate, gets all this in the graveyard. Sure. Okay, so the Bloodghast's gonna come back. He's also gonna get the prize of Amalgam. Shoot. Yeah, this hand's a bit on the slow side. Well, isn't Magic Online great when you double click by accident and it passes to the next step? Okay. Well, I would have played Lord of Atlantis and attack, but now I guess we'll swing for 1. And since we didn't really attack and get the bonus, we'll just use Harbinger, bounce the Amalgam, or mistakes. And opponent uses Conflagrate to kill our creatures. Okay, then opponent swings in for 2, then back to us. Oh, not back to us. All right. So much for bouncing that thing. It's discarded. I forgot about that thing. Man, this is not going well. I think we're going to game 3. I butchered this game really badly. Okay. And no change of sideboard. And check out this opening hand. Nope. This we can keep. Okay, we'll keep this. I mean, it's not spectacular, but it's not terrible. So yeah, we'll make it work. And Relic on top. Not bad. Start off with Breeding Pool tapped and pass back. Opponent plays Faithless Looting. And a Stinkweed Imp and a Prize Amalgam goes to the graveyard. Well, I believe that justifies a Relic of Progenitus. So play it, fire it, and then pass back to your opponent. That should slow them down quite a bit. Another Faithless Looting. Bloodghast and Golgari Thug. Okay, Bloodghast comes back, but much better than the Amalgam. Back on our turn, let's go with the Adept. All right, well, can't play anything else, so just pass back. Opponent swings in for 2, no blocks. Then Life from the Loam. Then back to our turn. Do we want to bounce this? Maybe. Yeah, we could. So we'll go with Cursecatcher. Actually, do we want to go with Cursecatcher? No, let's actually swing in for 2. Opponent takes 2, play the Cursecatcher. I don't know if they have a Lightning Axe, though. That could be a problem. Okay, let's try the Harbinger. So far, nothing too crazy in their graveyard. And we kind of got lucky this game because our curve was balls, but with 13 life, we're actually looking pretty good. And what? No plays from our opponent. It's interesting. Pull a Cavern of Souls. Hopefully this isn't a trap. I'm going to drop 2 Lords. And they do have 7 cards in hand. What are the odds they have an Anger of the Gods? I don't think they put that in their deck because it's pretty bad for them. Swing for 11. Let's see what they do here. Abrupt Decay. Okay, that's pretty cool art. And attempt a Lightning Axe. Well, don't want that going through, so we'll counter it. And they'll take 6. Opponent goes to 7. Back to them. Opponent flashes back to Faithless Looting. It's the Norcomnaw. And we also draw a Jade Bearer. Well, I think it's safer just to play both Lords. And unless they have a Lightning Axe here, I think we might get it. Yeah, they concede. Okay, cool. So not too bad. That Relic of Progenitus really did help us early on. Not sure we would have won without it, but I mean, I don't know. We didn't have the best pulls that game, but they didn't either. So a win's a win. So on to the next one. Opening hand, we got an Aether Vial, Blossoming Defense, 3 lands. Yeah, we can keep it. And this definitely looks like Storm. So let's try not speed them. Lord of Atlantis, pass back, Brawl, and 3 Reejereys. All right. Play the Reejerey, swing him for 3. When it goes to 17, pass back. It's going to be really hard to win against them if they have Brawl out. Oh, that's a good sign. That's a bad sign. Never mind. Oh boy. And Pass in Flames. And Gifts Ungiven. What do we pick? Does it really matter? Pretty sure they got us either way. Yep. And there's game 1. Going into game 2, I'm going to swap out 3 Blossoming Defenses for 3 Relic of Progenitus. And with that, let's go to game 2. Opening hand, no Relic, but we do have Cursecatcher, so we'll keep. Cursecatcher, pass back. Visions, let it happen. Now, I could play another Cursecatcher, but I think we got to go with the Adept and try and hit a Relic. Nope, hit an Adept. Okay, swing for 1. And back to our opponent. And there's Brawl. Back on our turn, we'll go with the Adept again. Still no Relic, but another Cursecatcher. That's good. So Cursecatcher, but it can't really attack because he can just block one of our guys, so we'll just pass back. Opponent uses Opt. Opponent uses the Visions. And that's all for opponent's turn. Back to us. So here's the plan. We'll play Reejerey, then Cursecatcher tapping down Brawl. And opponent attempts to bolt it. Well, I think that might be a trap because the Cursecatchers are pretty valuable. So we'll let the bolt go through. And then we'll swing in with everything, or everything but the Cursecatcher. And back to our opponent. No Electromancer, okay. Piece of the puzzle, do we let it happen? Yeah, we'll let it happen. Takes a Desperate Ritual and Gifts Ungiven in hand, okay. Back on our turn, boom! And now here we go, swinging. They have Island Block. So I think no matter what, we got it here. And there's a concede. Okay, well, we won that game without any sideboard cards. It only took 3 Cursecatchers. So on to game 3. Opening hand's not bad, but I don't think that's good enough to win on the draws from the mull. And this looks very, very nice. Bottom, this is not a land, but we do have the relics, so that's really good. Opponent uses Sleight of Hand, and nice, another land. Okay, well, question is, do we go Aether Vial or do we go Relic? I think for the sake of tempo, we gotta go Aether Vial, right? Oh man, this is a tough decision. Because Relic now could get rid of this. Could make the difference between... Nah, probably won't make the difference between games if they like Pass in Flames later on. I don't think having a Sleight of Hand or not is gonna change anything. So, go with the Vial and pass back to our opponent. Opponent drops Brawl. Ooh, and a Cursecatcher. Nice. Okay. And I think the key here is to be very, very cautious. And we'll always keep 1 mana open for Relic just in case they go off sooner than expected. Because I lost against Storm before where I had the Relic was a little bit too aggressive with tapping the lands. So keep that open. Pass back. Another Sleight of Hand. And opponent swings in. I don't think it's really... we could drop in the Kumena Speaker just to block. So block there. And then back to our turn. And a land. Cool. So we'll go ahead. Vial on the Adept. Land. Okay. And then Lord of Atlantis. Which means it's unblockable. 3 coming in. And a Lightning Bolt. Yeah, sure. Opponent takes 2 back to them. Visions. Then opponent passes back to us. Okay. And you can't really attack. So let's play the Cursecatcher. And pass back to our opponent. Actually, probably should have attacked last turn with this. Because he probably would have thought we had a Lord in hand. Okay. Visions. Sure. And Manamorphose. Okay. Sleight of Hand. Ritual. What is this? Pieces of the puzzle. Yeah. There's a Grape Shot and Manamorphose in hand from that. Well, alright. Do we count? Nah, I don't think we can really counter this. Another Another Manamorphose. Another Ritual. Can they really get it? Grape Shot. Are they going to Grape Shot us directly? Oh, and remanding it? That's lame. And all 8 targeting us? Jeez. Then the opponent plays that. Sure. I mean, he just fetch. I don't know why I did that. I mean, we're probably not going to go back to our turn. It's a good. Oh, is he really going to get 11? Just. Okay. Man. Yeah, actually, I think he might. Oh my gosh. Plays on the land. I don't believe it. You gotta be kidding me. Relic? I mean, do we even use... What can we do? Fetch? Relic? Yeah, I don't believe it. We had the relic out. Ow. Man, oh man, they used every card in their hand. That was pretty clean. And all the while, they got around the Cursecatcher, which is pretty impressive. They got around Cursecatcher and Relic at the same time. And they were able to win without Pass in Flames. Okay. Well played. Opening hand, do we keep this? We can't really drop this turn 1, then turn 2 we have a bunch of these. I think we'll risk it and mull. Crap. All right, we'll keep it. Aether Vial on top. Yeah, we can do that. We're gonna be off to a really slow start here. So hopefully our opponent's not that fast. Okay, opponent plays land back to us. Play the Vial and back to our opponent. Opponent cycles Street Wraith. Burning Inquiry. Ooh. So it's a hollow one, maybe Vengevine kind of deck. Yep, there's one hollow one. Phoenix goes to the graveyard and then swings in for 2. Okay. Well, I guess play the Reejerey. I mean, our hand sucks ass right now. Okay, gotta get a breeding pool, unfortunately, on tap. And back to our opponent. Goblin Lore. Then another Phoenix comes back. Oh, man. So without creature removal, at the very least, we're gonna be taking 4 each turn. That's not good. Then that, yeah, so we go down to 7. Oh, another hollow one. Well, that was a pretty hard fail. I guess we're going to game 2. So going to game 2, I'm going to mix things up here. Put 4 Spreading Season, 2 Relic of Progenitus, and get rid of 4 Blossoming Defense and 2 Jade Bearers. And with that, let's go to game 2. And hopefully, we can just hope for a miracle. I don't know. Opening hand, pretty good, except we can't play Spreading Seas because of the forest. Unless we draw an island or something, but we'll keep it anyway. Play the Kumena Speaker and pass back. Opponent starts off with Burning Inquiry and lose the Spreading Seas, Harbinger, and the Silvergill Hollow one. Well, that's pretty good. Not sure what we should do here. Do we play the Cursecatcher in the Aether Vial, or do we just forget the Aether Vial? I think his deck's so fast that at this point Aether Vial is a little bit too late. So let's go with the Adept, drawing another Cavern, and then unfortunately we had to pass back. Opponent swings in for 4, sure, and plays Hooting Mandrills. Well, another Mistbinder. Now, unfortunately, the penetration is real, but we can play a Mistbinder and a Cursecatcher and pass back to our opponent. Only we kept that Spreading Seas because they're stuck on 1 land. Faithless Looting. Uh-oh, his Bloodghast and a Phoenix there. Oh man. But I think it's still stuck on 1 land. Okay, so that's good for us. So we might have a slight chance. Opponent swings in for 4. We'll take it. We just hit another Lord. Kumena Speaker. Shit. We'll go Mistbinder. And what to do. We might be able to get him on the aggro, so we'll swing with the Kumena Speaker and the Adept. Opponent goes to 7. We'll play the Speaker and the Aether Vial because why not? And then back to our opponent. Oh, and we actually got that one. No way. Well, that was a bit lucky for us, but I'm willing to take whatever we can get. So yeah, we're taking that win. So going to game 3, I'm not sure what we can really do differently. I mean, we just got to hope that the cards line up nicely and that we get better pulls than we did in the last 2 games. So go to game 3, fingers crossed. Opening hand, Spreading Seas, Adept. Well, and the Harbinger is also really good against him. My thinking is that he's probably going to use that card that makes us discard stuff. So I think mulling a 6 would be a bad move. So let's keep it as is. Opponent starts off with the Adept, Landblade Adept that is. And let's do a land, pass it back, and please be stuck on 1 land again. Who's going to attack? Hasn't played a land yet. Come on, no land, no land. Yes, no land. No land, yes. We have a chance. Now play Spreading Seas. Take that. Back to them. Hopefully they don't pull a second one, because now if they're stuck on 1 land, they're basically landless, especially in their deck that's very, very tight with their colors usually. Oh no, another land, no. Okay, we can still do this. Goes with a Stomping Ground and Goblin Lore. Okay, pretty good for the Adepts. So we're taking 8, no big deal. And back to us, Botanical Sanctum. Well, bouncing them doesn't really help that much. I mean, do we go with the Reejerey and unload next turn? I think we gotta do that. Okay, we'll go Reejerey and just hope they don't have another Goblin Lore or anything like that. Back to our opponent. Ooh, another land. Okay. Faithless Looting. My gosh. Now the problem is next turn, they can use Faithless Looting from the graveyard. And even if we bounce one of them, that'll be enough to finish us off. Oh man. Oh, actually, no, it won't be because we're at 4. Oh wait, yeah, it will be because if we fetch, because we're gonna have to fetch next turn. I don't know. It's not looking good. 3rd Adept. You just gotta pull Detention Sphere and we're good. Master of Pearl Trident. Well, we'll go Adept, untapping our land. Yeah, I don't see a way out of this because they all have Menace. So no, we can't. Well, We might be able to survive one more turn. Okay, let's try hanging in there. Harbinger. Oops, I accidentally targeted the wrong thing. Well, that blows. Because now we can't untap a land with Reejerey because I mistargeted. Not that we really wanted to, though. Okay, well, let's pass back. So it works out, I guess. So they could use Faithless Looting. And actually, if we survive this, we might be able to get it with the Lords next turn. Because they are unblockable. Yeah, it's actually good that I mistargeted here. Because if we would have untapped and played another thing, we would have had to go to 3, and that would have been lethal. I actually don't think we can get it next turn. I don't know. I'd say our odds of winning are like 10%. We'd have to draw something like a Harbinger or have them not attack at all. Yeah, Faithless Looting. With all his card drawing, though, he could draw into like another Burning Inquiry in a land. So maybe our chances of winning are like more like 5%. So, okay, now they're 3/3s each. So we'll survive by 1, it looks like. Will they attack with both? Yeah. Okay, so we have to double block. We'll double block one of them and then let 3 go through. Oh no, and they had a Street Wraith. Ah, that hurts. That hurts quite a bit. Darn, just couldn't get there. Oh well. Opening hand curve is balls, but we do have 2 lands, which is good. So I guess we'll keep. Back to our opponent. Chilling Vent tapped. Okay. Back on our turn, another Lord. So we'll play one of them, pass back. And it appears to be Abzan here. Grim Flare, sure. Now, usually Abzan has a lot of creature removal, so we have to be careful here. Well, I think we gotta play a Lord. I mean, we really want to play the Adept to draw a card, but I think we gotta play a Lord so we can attack and block and force them to use creature removal on us. So we'll play Master of the Pearl Trident, swing in for 3. Opponent goes to 16, back to them. Yep, there's the creature removal. And opponent swings in. And there's Tarmogoyf. Now, we kind of have a bit of a problem here. What do we do? Could play the Adept to draw a card, or we could play Harbinger to the Ties to bounce this. But we're in a really tough spot here. They have 4 cards in hand, and probably some of that's creature removal. So we could just go with the Adept. Yeah, kind of lame though. Cavern of Souls, Okay, back to our opponent. Opponent plays Lingering Souls, okay. And unfortunately, our opponent swings in for 8, and if we double block anything, they'll both die, so let's let it go through. Back on our turn, play the 4th land. Now, what do we do? I think we gotta bounce. Might as well bounce the Flare, and then play one of the Lords. That problem is the Spirits really do put a clock on us, but I think it's gotta pass back, and yeah, Abzan's pretty rough for Merfolk. Opponent swings in with only the Tarmogoyf, that's suspicious. And they played a land on tap. Darn, what do we do? They have to have creature removal, right? Nah, screw it, we'll double block. Go with that. And hey, what do you know? Still only a 1-for-1 trade though, so it's not too bad for us. Opponent took out the Adept, but if he kills this thing though, then this will die. Well, nah. Okay, he's gonna probably, yeah, he's gonna kill it that way. Okay, sure. And back to us. Well, might as well play an Adept and a Mistbinder and swing it early on for 3. Probably just gonna chump block though with the Spirit. Chump block happens, back to them. And then opponent gets back Tarmogoyf. And yeah, okay. And let's see, how do we get out of this one? We also have Lingering Souls in the graveyard as well. It's gonna be pretty tough. Suppose we'll go Adept land. Cool. I think we gotta play both of these as opposed to the Reejerey. So we'll go Cursecatcher, Lord of Atlantis, and hold back till next turn. We can swing in for an Ass Load. Opponent sacks slowly to get a Grim Flare back and a Scavenging. Oh boy, there's Lingering Souls. Well, that Ooze is really a problem. Swings for 1 in the air, sure. Because there's already 6 creatures in the graveyard, so they could just gain 6 life with, yeah, they almost have all the land. Yeah, 5 lands that can produce green. Shoot. Pull an Aether Vial. No. This is one of those moments where it'd be nice to have Spreading Seas. But yeah, no, we can't get this one. It's just too much. Yep, we're going to game 2. So going into game 2, I'm going to get rid of 3 Jade Bearers, 3 Blossoming Defense, 2 Cursecatchers to put in 3 Relic of Progenitus for Graveyard Hate, 2 Spreading Seas, and 3 Shaper's Sanctuary because all that creature removal's there. And with that, let's go to game 2. Opening hand, this is balls, so we're gonna maul. And no Shaper Sanctuary, but we can turn one Aether Vial, so we'll keep. So Aether Vial, pass back. And Thoughtseize. So much for surprising with Blossoming Defense. Now the thing about Merfolk that gets under my skin the most is that like sometimes you just get that feeling you're gonna lose, and you probably are gonna lose with the Merfolk. You know, it's like a very slow losing process. Whereas some like fast combo decks, sometimes you're just like, well, if I pull the right cards, I can win. But Merfolk, it's like, oh, good news is that got rid of our Mistbinder, we get one right back. But we'll play the Master of the Pearl Trident for now. And pass back to our opponent. And there's Tarmogoyf. Sure. And Silvergill. Well, I think the best thing to do here. Ooh, I was going to play this. Oh, man, this is a tough spot. So I want to play this Silvergill, but the problem is if we swing in, he blocks. We have the Blossoming Defense, but by the time it goes to the graveyard, it's an instant. The Tarmogoyf will survive. So that's no good. But then again, if we just file this in, then we can't use Silvergill. Well, we're kind of screwed either way. We'll swing in. I don't think he's going to block, but if he does block, then we got to go this route. If he doesn't block, we just won't file this in instead. Oh, and he does go for the block. No way. He's gonna. No, what? Oh, big bull. What do you do that for? And then Blossoming Defense. Yay. And he saw it in our hand too, so I'm surprised he did that. I don't know. And back to our opponent. Unless it's like a damnation or something. Maelstrom Pulse, sure. And back on our turn, we'll Vial and the Adept. Cavern, okay. And then swing in for 2. And just hope he doesn't have Flying Tendrils to wipe our board, but we'll pretend like that card doesn't exist. Inquisition, nice. Right into the Cavern. And then Scavenging is okay. There's only 3 creatures in the graveyard, so not too good for him. Pull another Cavern. Well, I think it's worth swinging in with everything, because if he does block this, it's not that bad of a trade for us. So swing in. Yep, blocks there. Okay, that's fine. Don't want him getting a bunch of life anyways. We'll probably just hit another Lord soon. So they go to 5. Pass back. And Lingering Souls. And more Lingering Souls. Cool. And we do hit another Lord. Okay. So I think the best move here is swinging with both. He'll probably catch on what we're doing. Yep, that seems about right. Okay, Vial in. So we'll keep the Adept. All the spirits are gone now, so back to our opponent. Another Maelstrom Pulse. Sure. Oh gosh, and a Tarmogoyf. Well, that hurts. What we really need is a Lord followed by Spreading Seas. There's an Adept. So Vial in, and there's a Lord. Okay, play the Lord, but no attacks. Back to our opponent. Opponent plays Grim Flare. Still 2-2. Passes back to us. He just hit a Lord or something. Oh, I mean, we could swing in, but I don't think that's the right move. I think we're better off just hoping for a Spreading Seas or something. All right, back to our opponent. Opponent swings in. That's suspicious. Well, the question is, do they have an instant? Because if they do, this would get to 4-4 instantly. All right, let's go ahead. Double block the Silvergills. Yep, Fatal Push it is. So we'll lose all of our creatures. I mean, it's kind of unavoidable. We couldn't have Grim Flares keep doing damage to us like that. This ability is just too good. Well, I don't know. In that case, maybe we shouldn't have gone for the block and just hope we hit a Spreading Seas on the top. That's a bit risky, though. Merrow Reejerey, sure. Play that. Pass back. Opponent swings in. All right. Shaper's Sanctuary, no. So play Shaper's Sanctuary, but he could block the Shambling Vent, so I'm not going to attack. Back to them. Opponent swings for 5. No. Blocks. Another Grim Flare. Okay. Harbinger of the Ties. That's actually pretty good. The only issue is if we bounce the Tarmogoyf, swinging with the Reejerey, they'll take 2, but if they swing with both the Shambling Vent and the Grim Flare, we'll lose. So we'll only have this. Actually, no, we won't. We'll have 1, assuming nothing dies of ours. I think we just got to go for it. We'll risk it. Harbinger. Oh, but they have the Shambling. Ah, man. Because they're just going to swing with the Shambling Vent next turn. It's like they're just going to get life gain. I don't know. Okay, we'll tap the Grim Flare. Bounce the Goyfa. I don't think there's any point swinging in, right? Yeah, it's too risky. Unfortunately, it's got to pass back. Opponent swings in for 4. Gotta go with the double block. And they prioritize this, they'll both die. Ooh, and a Fatal Push. That hurts. Oh, wait. Hang on. We get a Harbinger. Bounce the Flare. So that's not too bad. Play the Goyf. Ooh, they're in a really tough spot now. That was an interesting turn of events. And Relic of Progenitus. Well, fire it off. So that way we draw. Hopefully we'll get a Merfolk. Nope. But we'll swing in, forcing him to double block. Or not double block. Block one of them. Path to Exile. Draw another land. Okay. So now it's a 1-2. Now the only problem is if he has a way to put something in the graveyard next turn. Tarmogoyf will be a 2-2. This is a 2 damage here. So they could win here. Shambling Vent. Opponent swings for 2. Sure, we take 2. Didn't really expect the Path to Exile. So, oh, we had the win there. What? He could have just fetched, made this a 2-2 and killed us. Alright, whatever. It's a long game. Cursecatcher, I think they got us. Yeah, they did. Because even if we try and double block things like, or even just block single block things like, either way we lose. We take 2 damage next turn. Well, gosh, it's so frustrating. All this creature removal. It's like Merfolk just can't get a break. It's just like this non-stop creature removal. Fatal Push. Look at this. Engineered Explosives. Fatal Push. It's like Inquisition. It's just. Especially Fatal Push. I don't know. It's like even with Shaper Sanctuary, it's like it's just relentless. You just cannot catch a break. Anyways, whatever. Almost had the second game, but winning the match would have been a challenge either way. Great. Oh, Fatal Push. Running Merfolk. Whatever. Opening hand. Well, we could keep this, but we can't really play anything turn 1, so I'm gonna risk it and mull. Oh my gosh, it's just not my day. Mull again. Oh, why? All right, let's make this work. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. All we have is an island. Yeah. Opt, Lightning Bolt, and Geist Saint Draft. Well, I think at this point it's better for them to not know we are going to game 2. So, fastest concede ever. Oh man, that's pretty embarrassing. Well, so now we know that they're Jeskai. I'm gonna get rid of 3 Harbingers and 2 Blossoming Defenses to put in 3 Shaper Sanctuaries and 2 Heroic Interventions. And with that, let's go to game 2. Opening hand. Well, I'm just gonna keep it. I'm afraid to mull again. Start off with Shaper Sanctuary and pass back. And Aether Vial. Good. Okay, cool. Only 1 land, but we're looking okay. And a land. Okay. Now, do we go with the Adept? They could counter it, so we can risk it though. Go Adept. Adept hits. Cool. And then back to our opponent. Opponent uses Op. And our opponent's turn, we'll go ahead, use the Speaker, and hopefully they're not setting up for some kind of board wipe. Now, we could drop a Reejerey and Lord of Atlantis this turn, but should we keep a land open for Blossoming Defense? I'm not really sure. I think we'll risk it. Go Reejerey. Will we see counter? Nope. Okay, swing in. Opponent Lightning Helixes the Reejerey. Okay, so that's going to trigger the card draw. Might as well Vial in the Lord now. Lord comes out, but the Merrow Reejerey still dies, but they'll take 6 anyway. They go to 15. Pray for no Anger of the Gods. And back on our turn, we're still okay. This time, play an extra land for the Blossoming Defense if we need it, and we'll drop in Reejerey And opponent counters it, but then chooses the draw instead of tapping. Okay, so swing in. Opponent goes to 7, then back to them. And opponent passes back to us. Well, the question is, do they have another cryptic command to tap our guys? Or maybe even to settle the wreckage? Ooh, opponent tries to electrolyze on the Lord of Atlantis. Okay, we will use Blossoming Defense on it. Oh, but it uses the Logic Knot. Okay, at least we get to draw a card though, so it's not too bad. The Shaper Sanctuary. And unfortunately, another land will play the Shaper Sanctuary and swing in for 4. Back to our opponent. Opponent goes to the Guy's Insane Trap. That's a good sign. Another land, shoot. Okay, swing in for 4. Opponent blocks and goes the Lightning Helix. Okay, and there's the Lord of Atlantis. So if Lord of Atlantis could file in, yeah, let's file it in. That way the speaker is safe. And the Shaper Sanctuary doing some work. Nice. All right, back to our opponent. Then opponent pass back to us. Cavern of Souls. Well, it's risky, but let's swing with only the Kumena speaker. But they could kill the Lord of Atlantis, block the Kumena speaker with Celestial Colonnade. We'll be able to draw 2 cards with that, so there's a good chance we'll hit another Lord that gives Island Block. Oh, and he passed the Kumena speaker. Okay, draw another Lord, and might as well play Aether Vial. And we have a Lord that we can drop in end of our opponent's turn, so we'll do that. Opponent plays land tap. We will go ahead and vial in the Vaster, the Pearl Trident. Another Aether Vial. Well, swinging with both. Opponent taps our guys. Sure. So no swinging with both. Play another Aether Vial and back to our opponent. And there's a concede. Okay, so we get it in the end thanks to the Shaper Sanctuary. So we'll see how the third one goes. So going to game 3, I'm going to swap out 2 Jade Bears to put in 2 more Blossoming Defense because they worked pretty well, or the one that we had that last game did. So we'll go with that and see how game 3 goes. Opening hand, not spectacular, but we do have Cavern of Souls, which I like. So we'll keep. Oh yes, and there's Shaper Sanctuary. Cool. There's still hope, assuming they didn't bring in enchantment removal, but still hope. One has 2 islands untapped, but we have Cavern of Souls. We will start off with the Adept. Ooh, nice Cursecatcher. Okay, pass back to opponent. Opponent uses another op and a third op. Opponent plays a Mountain, but will they do anything? No, they pass back. Another Kumena speaker. I think the best move here, Cursecatcher. See if they have like an electrolyze or something. Nope. All right, and then swing in for 2. Going with a Lightning Bolt. Sure. Then play Kumena speaker. See if they want to counter it. Now we could counter that, but I think I'd rather have the Cursecatcher, so we'll let it go through. Then play the other Kumena speaker and back to our opponent. No place from them. Now with this 4th land here, I think it's time we do Lord of Atlantis, Spellsnare, sure, followed by Lord of Atlantis, and swing for 5. Back to our opponent. Opponent goes to Snapcaster. I guess they're getting back op. Yeah, just let it go through. Yep. And back to us. Ooh, and a Reejerey. Okay. I do want to play the Master of the Pearl Trident, but I think the better move here, Reejerey, then Kumena speaker to attack down the Snapcaster, then swing in. And as long as we don't see a Supreme Verdict, then we're good. And our opponent concedes. Well, it's kind of lucky that our opponent didn't have Supreme Verdict, and that Shaper Sanctuary did a ton of work those last 2 games. Muy grande indeed. But the question is this deck viable? And the honest answer is I'm not really sure. Merfolk in general has just been so tough lately. Although the Blossoming Defense and the Shaper Sanctuary have helped a bit, but neither card really shuts off Fatal Push. And Fatal Push is just such a nightmare for Merfolk because you just can't get around it. Because back when you had Lightning Bolt and no Fatal Push, it's like you could just vial in the Lords at the right time to get around Lightning Bolt. But with Fatal Push, there's like really no defense for it. And I mean, our record wasn't terrible. I mean, we went 2 and 3, which isn't great. And some people might say that, well, if we had Mutavaults and went like Mono Blue or more traditional Merfolk deck, that we would have done better. But I've been testing Merfolk decks all week, a bunch of different versions of them leading up to this one, and all of them have the same problem. They all are hurt really badly by Fatal Push. And if the opponent's deck only has 4 Fatal Push in it, then it's not that bad for Merfolk. But the problem is a lot of these Fatal Push decks also run like 4 Path to Exiles, 4 Lightning Bolts, like all these crazy things. Like we saw in the Abzian match, there were Path to Exiles or Abrupt Decays, Fatal Pushes, Maelstrom Pulse. Like it just never ends. And Shaper Sanctuary helps because you get to draw a card every time something's targeted. But if their deck's fast enough, they can just outspeed us. It's just I don't know. But all week I've been using Merfolk decks nonstop, and all the practice leagues I did either ended in 2-3 or 3-2, but never 4-1 or 5-0, which is a little bit unusual for a deck that I tested for this long. And I think I just gotta say that Merfolk is just really struggling right now. But anyway, that's all for now. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments if you hated this video. But that's all for now. See you in the next video, and I hope you have a great day.